Good morning, everyone.
Good morning, ma'am.
Good
Good
morning,
morning,
ma'am.
ma'am.
Good morning, ma'am.
Today we are going to start next chapter, that is SQL, Structured Query Language. Introduction of this chapter. SQL is a special purpose programming language. It is designed for managing data in a relational database management system. So here we are going to use this structured query language to manage data in a relational database management system. It is based upon relational algebra. We have seen this part in the previous lecture. It is completely based upon relational algebra and consists of data definition language, data manipulation language, and data control language. So this SQL based on relational algebra, and it contains data definition language, data manipulation language, and data control language. It provides a language to create and modify schema. Schema means structure of your database. It provides a language to create and modify schema, insert, update, and delete query, and data access control. So using this language, you can create table or create a schema of your database, modify that schema. After that, we can insert data into table, update data from the table, delete data from the table. Plus, data access controls are there. How we can access the data. Why we are using SQL? It allows user to access data in relational database management system. Using SQL, we can access data from relational database management system. That's why you should know SQL. Then it allows user to describe the data. We can describe the data, what type of data we are going to insert, what type of value we are going to insert into table. If you want to check that data, then we can describe the data using SQL. Allows user to define the data in the database and manipulate that data. We can define the data in the database as well as manipulate the data using SQL. Allows to embed within other language using SQL modules, libraries, and pre-compilers. Other languages are taking advantage of this SQL. SQL is going to embed into other languages. We can directly use SQL from that languages. For example, VB.NET. SQL is available there inside that framework only. So this SQL is embedded within the other languages using SQL modules, libraries, and pre-compilers. Then allows user to create and drop databases and tables. We can create database as well as drop database as well as tables using this SQL. It allows user to create, view, store procedure functions in a database. In a database, along with this table and database, we can create a view also, stored procedure also, as well as functions. It allows user to set permissions on table. Who has the right to access the data? That permission we can set on particular table, procedure, and views. So for all these reasons, we are using SQL. Main reason we are going to access data in relational database management system. For accessing data, first you have to create that. So you will create the data, then you will insert the data. So after that part, you are going to access the data. As per the user requirement, you will show the data to the user. For all these reasons, we are using SQL. History is given about SQL. In 1970, Dr. E. F. Tate Cod of IBM is known as the father of relational database. E. F. Tate Cod. He is the father of relational database. He described a relational model for database. In 1970, he described the relational model for database. Relational model means our previous chapter that described in 1970. Who described it? Dr. E. F. Tate Code. Then in 1974, structured query language appeared. 1974, structured query language. Here just describe the relational model for databases. But here structured query languages appeared in 1974. Then in 1978, IBM worked to develop Code's ideas. What ideas he has given here? That ideas, IBM started working with that ideas and released a product named System or R. So in 1978, IBM has started work with the ideas given by Cord, and then they have released first product, that is System or R. Then in 1986, IBM developed the first prototype of relational database and standardized by ANSI. The first relational database was released by Relational Software and it later becomes Oracle. So in 1986, first product or first prototype of relational database is developed and which is standardized by ANSI. That first product later on become Oracle. Then we will see basic structure of SQL expression, and there are three clauses. For basic SQL expression, there are three clauses. Which are that clauses? First clause is select clause. Now we will compare all these clauses with the relational algebra operators. So first clause is select clause. It corresponds to the projection operation. We have seen that projection operation. Which attribute you want to show to the user, only that attribute name you will write under this projection operation. So this clause is going to work like that only. Select clause corresponds to the projection operation of the relational algebra. It is based on, SQL is based on relational algebra. So how projection operation is working, same way here select clause is working. It is used to list the attributes desired in the result of the query. Only desired attribute will be shown to the user. This is a select clause. Then next clause is from clause. From clause correspond to the Cartesian product. If more than one tables are there and you have to show all the data from that table, then Cartesian product is the operator. So from clause correspond to the Cartesian product operation of the relational algebra, means from which table we are getting information, that we will write after this from. It lists the relations, means table name, to be scanned in the evaluation of the expression. What selection criteria is written there, predicate is written there, means query is written there. What query is written, on which table we are going to fire that query, that table list we have to write after this from keyword. And where clause, third clause is where clause. It corresponds to the selection predicate. What is the actual condition? For example, we have seen yesterday subject is equal to CS or major is equal to CS. So that is the condition, selection predicate. So that condition where we can write after this where keyword. So this is the where clause. Where clause corresponds to the selection predicate of the relational algebra. It consists of predicate involving attributes of the relations that appear in the from clause. So it will contain attributes which are coming under this from clause. So this is the basic structure of SQL expression. Three clauses will be there: select, from, where. Select means it will work like projection operation. Which attribute you want to show to the user, that name you will write after this select. Then from which we have to take the information. From which we have to take the information, table name will be here. Table names will be here inside this from. Then where clause. Where clause means here we have to write the condition. On that condition we are going to fetch the record. What is the condition? Selection predicate. On this selection predicate we are going to fetch the record. Understood these three clauses, select from where. We are going to learn in detail practically about this, but about theory. Understood this part, select from and where.
Yes, ma'am.
So this is the way we can write the query. Select clause will be there, from clause will be there, as well as where will be there. Compulsory. So after this select, we will write the name of the attributes which you want to show to the user. So first attribute, second attribute, last attribute. How many attributes you want to show? All the attributes name you can write here by using comma separator. Then from is here. From, after this from keyword, we have to write the table names. From which table you are getting information. One table, two table, three table. How many tables are there? That name you will write here. And
Ma'am,
where
what is that R?
are relation. For relation, R is written here. Relation 1, relation 2, relation n. This is for attribute. And
Okay.
this is a predicate. Where predicate means here you will write condition. Roll number is equal to 4801. So this is condition. That condition you will write after this where clause. And compulsorily you have to give semicolon after this. Semicolon means you can say that that is the end of your query. End of query will be shown by using the semicolon only. So for each and every query, you have to write semicolon at the end of that query. So this is the typical SQL query. Then first we will check a DDL command. So after this theory, we will see how to create table. So that comes under DDL command only. So DDL means data definition language. Data definition language command is used to define the database structure or schema. So here, what is the structure of your database? Which tables are there? How to create that table? Everything is mentioned here inside this data definition language. Creation part is there, deletion part is there, alteration part is there. On which? On the structure of your database or schema. You are not dealing with the values of your table at this command, DDL command. You are dealing with the structure and schema part, design part of your database under this DDL commands. So DDL statements create, modify and remove database objects. Remember this, what DDL statement contains. We can create database, create tables. We can modify database, modify tables, and we can remove database, remove tables. So all these are related with the database structure only. Blueprint of any building. So that will show the structure of that building. If you want to create such a type of structure in database, then DDL commands are there. Using that command only we can create structure. So remember these three commands: create, modify and remove. These operation we can perform under DDL statements. So DDL statements create, modify and remove database objects such as table, indexes and users. Common DDL statements are create, alter and drop. Means for these three operation, which statement we are using, which keywords we are using. For create, create keyword will be there. For modify means if you want to change the database structure, for that alter keyword is there. And for removing, drop keyword is there. So this keyword you will use while writing queries. If you want to create table, you will write this. If you want to alter table, you will write this. If you want to delete table or drop table completely, you will write this keyword. Example, create table, alter table, create index. In this way, we are going to create the structure of database. And these are the important part: DDL statement, create, alter and drop. You will get questions like this. What are the DDL statements? So only create, alter, drop. Three statements are there. Now first we will see create statement. We have to create table. The create table statement is used to create table in database. Tables are organized into rows and columns, and each table must have name. So table is the combination of rows and column, and for each table we are giving unique name. This is the syntax how we can create table. So create is the keyword, then table is also keyword. These two are keyword. After that, table name, this is a user defined name. We will decide what name we have to give for this particular table. So this is the user defined name. These two are keyword. After writing table name, there is a opening bracket. Function bracket is here. Opening function bracket. Then which are the attributes of your table? That attribute name is here. Column name. This is first attribute name. For example, if you are taking student database, student table, then your roll number will be the first attribute. So that column name will be here. What type of value that column is taking? That is here, data type. What type of value this column is going to take, that data type we will write here. What is the size of that data type, that we will write in the bracket. Then if there are constraints on this particular column, then that constraint we will write here. For example, primary key. This is one constraint. So that constraint we will write here. Second column, comma separated. After this first attribute, completion of this first attribute, comma should be there. Then second column. Second column, data type of that column, size, comma separated. Again third column, comma. So after end of this, all the attributes we have written here. After that we have to end this bracket, function bracket, and at last semicolon will be there. If there is no semicolon, your SQL query will not execute. Semicolon is compulsory. Clear this structure, syntax of create table.
Yes, ma'am.
So these are the data types which we have mentioned here inside this. So what type of data types are there? First is string type. In this string type, first data type is character. Char in bracket n. So it is a fixed length character data, n character long. Maximum length is 2000 bytes. So maximum it will take 2000 bytes character. Then varchar 2 in bracket n. It is a variable length character data. This character is fixed length character data. This varchar2 is the variable length character data. Maximum 4000 bytes it will take. Long variable length character data up to 4 GB. Up to 4 GB it will take data. Maximum 1 per table. Maximum we will use long data type for one attribute, for one table. Then a numeric type is there. For this numeric type, these are the data types. Number. Number p comma q means here we are going to get floating type of value. If there are more than one values inside this bracket, means we are taking floating values. So number p comma q, it is general purpose numeric data type. Then integer data type is there. Here we are going to take single value only, integer. It is not a float value. It is signed integer p digit wide. How many digit we want, that many wide it will be, integer. Then float p, floating point in scientific notation. So this is a data type for numeric. These are the data types under numeric type. And one more data type is there, date time type. Date, fixed length date time in DDMMYY form. If you want to take data in this form, then we can use a date time data type. So these are the different data types in Oracle, which are categorized under string type, numeric type and date time type. And you can use any one of these data type for your attribute. Now we will create this customer table. We will do practical on this. Open your SQL if you are having install, if you are installed in your computer, then open it. Otherwise, I am using here Oracle Live SQL. That link I have already given to you. I have already created my account over there. So when you will open this, start coding now. Click here, start coding now. It will ask you for your login ID password. Have you done it? Yes, everyone.
Yes, ma'am.
Start from your side. We are doing practical. What we have to do? We have to create table customer. So create table customer with column customer number, customer name, address and city. Hmm? This all part will be same for other tables. Only attributes are going to be changed. Only attributes are going to be changed. This creation table syntax are same for all type of table. So you have to check your lab book. In that lab book, which table you have to create, that name you will write. So first write create table customer. Keywords are written in capital letter. It is not compulsory. You can write it in small letter also. It is not compulsory, but these are keywords and I have to show that these are keywords. That's why I have written here capital. Create table. Create keyword, then space table. After that, table name. This is user defined name. User will create this name. Done this? Yes. Done this?
Yes, ma'am.
Create create table customer. Then go to the next line. You can write it in single line also. No problem. It will check for the semicolon only to check the end of your query. Open open this bracket, function bracket. Now we will create the attributes over here. Which attribute you want to create, that attribute names are also given here. If there is a question, they will give you the attribute names. So these are the attributes: customer number, customer name, address and city. You should know what type of values these attributes are going to take. If they have not given data type, then you have to decide which type of values this customer number will take, this name will take, this address will take, and city will take. So first is the customer number. This is our attribute name. First underscore number. Now what we have to write? A data type. So here data type is int. You can write complete integer also. Int is also supported. So this data type will take integer type value. Next, constraint. We are going to apply this constraint on this primary key. We have to make this column as a support to for taking unique values only. So we will write here primary key constraint, and after that one more constraint is there, not null. This column should not be null. We have to write some value into this. So primary key, first constraint, as well as with this constraint we can write not null. Done this part, primary key and not null. That's done.
Yes, ma'am.
Now give here comma. One attribute is over here. Give here comma, go to the next line. Now we will create next attribute. Check the attribute customer name. So this is the attribute customer name. What type of value it is going to take? String. Customer name is there. So varchar I am using here. Varchar2 in bracket 50 I have written here. But you can think maximum number of maximum character in the name. You can think on that and then you can write here number varchar2 in bracket, that number you can write. So here I am writing 50 for now. So varchar2 customer underscore name. This is the name of the attribute. Then varchar2 is the data type. 50 and constant is given. It should not null. Should not null. So not null constraint I am giving here. Now after end of this attribute, give here colon, sorry, comma. Now third attribute is address. Address means it is going to take the strings. So varchar2 will be there and 50. So address varchar2 in bracket 50. There I am not using any constraint. If you want to take compulsory address from the customer, then you will write here not null. Then next is city varchar2 not null. City, we have to take this input from user, that's why I have written here not null. If this is end of the attribute, city is the last attribute from this customer table, then no need to write here comma. Go directly next line and close the bracket which we have opened here. Close the bracket and then give semicolon. So using this query, now we can create customer table. Done this part.
Yes, miss.
Yes, ma'am.
Now execute it. Here run button is here. Execute this. Yes. Here I have got the message table created. Check at your side also whether table is created or not. Done?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Means creation of table is done over here. Same way we are going to create more tables. Same way, same like this only. We are going to create more table. But we are talking about creation means it is going to create the structure of your database, structure of your table. How we can see that structure? Now I have created this table and afterward when you are going to create another table, this table will go. This table is not going to show, we are not going to get such type of information over here inside this part because new table we are creating, so this table we will delete this part from here. After some time if you want to see all these attributes, which are the attributes of customer table, then I will show you one query. Using that query you can get the attribute names and which type of value it is going to contain. So before that you just keep this part in the word file. Keep this file in the word file because in the lab book whatever questions are there you have to show the query part of all questions. Create table customer. If this is the question, then create table customer. Under this, you have to write this query. I'm giving example. You have to solve all the part of lab book and keep it in the Word file. For example, create table customer. This is your question. So under this, you will paste your query. So in this way, you will paste each and every query of your question, query result of your question. So this is our first customer table. Now I have deleted this part, and after some time I feel that I just want to see the attributes of table customer. That time you can write DESC. DESC means description, and then write the table name. This table name you should know. You have to remember this. DESC space, then table name, this customer table. Now execute it. Here you can check. This part. This is the output. What columns are these? Means these are the attributes. So customer number, customer name, address, city. 4 attributes are there. Then you can check the constraints over here. 3 columns are there which are having constraints. Then type of this attribute, number, varchar2, varchar2, varchar2. So this is the description or schema. You can say schema of your table customer. What is the structure of your table customer? This is the structure. Plus we have seen one point, data dictionary. In that data dictionary, you have to write the structure of table. What it is going to contain, these attributes are here, which constraints are there that you will show here, plus which type of data it is going to contain. So it is a structure of table customer that we can get by using this DESC customer. For every table, you can use this command, DESC, description. Done?
Ma'am,
Yes.
After writing
DESC, you have run the program or what?
After writing DESC, write your table name. Then execute it. Every time we have to execute this query. After this semicolon, execute this query, you will get the result. This type of result. Done this part?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Now create second table, because we have to, at last we have to show the relationship between two tables. So here we will create more than one table, because in one table, if there is a primary key, we have to show the foreign key of the second table. So for that reason, here we will create three tables, and after that I will show you how to create a foreign key. So now second table we are going to create, that is name of that table is item, and column names are item number, item name, unit, and price. 4 columns are there. So using this, we are going to create table item. So this is the query for that. So we will start writing of item query, create table. This is common for all. Only name is going to change. Create table item. Then opening bracket is there, open function bracket. Which are the columns are there? Item number. Item number, this is your first column. And this is a number, we have to make it primary key. So primary key constraint will be there. What is the data type of this? Int. Then primary key is the constraint, then not null, one more constraint we have used here. Same like customer. So item number, then data type, then constraint, primary key, not null. In the question, they will give. which constraint you have to apply. They will tell you for this attribute use not null constraint. Normally you can use, but you have to check the questions also. In that question, what they have given, accordingly you have to show the query. So next, item name varchar2 20 not null. Item name varchar2 maximum 20 character not null. So this attribute should not null. Third, unit and price. Third and fourth, unit and price both are of integer type. Unit, you can change a data type as per your requirement. Unit and price. If you want to show price in floating point, then we can use float data type. So close this bracket and semicolon. Done this,
Yes, miss.
execute this now. Table created. So save this table also in Word file. You will get the CSV file here also, but I am just, if you want to show your practical to the faculty, that time you have to show something to the faculty. So you will show this part, Word file. You will upload this file on Google Classroom. So save it, create table item. Now next, see, if already you have created this table, table name is item, already created this table name, I am saying that you have to write unique name over here. Unique name. This name should not be, means second time you are not going to use this name, item name again. If you are trying to create the table with the same name, so what error you will get? See here. Remember this, if you are getting this error, means that object or that table is already present in that database. Name is already used by an existing object. If such error you will get, then what you have to do? You have to change the name. This name table is already available in that particular database. If you are going to create it again, it will give error this. Name is already used by an existing object. Remember this error. If name is already used, means you can use other name, and same table name you are going to use for every query, for next queries, for insertion also, for deletion also. What name you have given, you have to remember that. Okay, so you will change the name and again execute it. That error is gone. So remember that error. So now second table is done. Here they have given one more thing, that we can add primary key, because this item number, this product is for example this item table and customer table is there. We have to show here, sorry, this is different. So in next table I will show this part, constraint. Next table is customer order. Now customer will place order, and for this order he will select item from that item table. So that's why we have created customer table as well as item table. So customer is there, he is going to place the order. He will select the items from that item table. So both table reference should be here in this third table. This is the customer order table. So both table reference are there, means here you can check customer number. This is from first table. This is the primary key of first table, customer table, and this item number is the primary key of second table. So these columns, these two columns we are using here in this third table. We are creating third table. It will take primary keys of first two tables. Okay, and here for this table, for uniqueness of this table, we have created one more column, that is order number, that is already mentioned here also. Create a customer table with columns order number, customer number, item number, quantity, and ship address. So that order number is here. Another way how we can create primary key for this particular attribute, that is shown here. Here just I have written order number, then data type, then normal constraint not null. Now I have to convert this order number to primary key. So that you can write here like this also. Primary key in bracket, on which column we are going to apply this, that column name is here. Or the same way we have created in the previous table, in that way also you can create. You can directly write here order number int primary key, after that not null. So write this four part first, then I will tell you about this foreign key, how to write foreign key. So create table cust order. Create table order. Using this, we can show the relationship between two table, customer and order. That's why we are creating third table. So customer cust underscore order. So in this first attribute is order number. Order number, it will take integer type of value. ORD underscore number. It will take integer type of value, and we are saying it should not contain null. Constraint is there. This is first column. Then second and third column are the attributes from first two tables, that is customer number. This data type and that table attribute data type should be same. This data type and previous tables data type, this columns data type should be same. So customer number integer, item number integer. Create this. You can change this name. This name should not same like your previous table, but you have to prove that. If you are changing this name, you have to prove that this attribute and that attribute is same. That thing you have to do if you are going to change this name of the attribute. Now these three things are done. Now we are going to give the primary key constraint on this order number. So write primary key. This is second way how we can create primary key on column. Primary key in bracket order number. This field name we have to write here, order number. Done this part?
Yes, miss.
Next, now we have to create the foreign key for these two columns. These two columns are of primary key in the other table. So now we are going to create the foreign key. For that reason, first write constraint keyword. Keyword constraint. 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 Write keyword. Then we will give name to that relation, foreign key relation. So that name is here, fk underscore customer number. On which column we are going to write? We will give that name only. So you will come to know that yes, this is a foreign key of customer number. So fk foreign key underscore customer number. This is the name of your foreign key, constraint keyword, then foreign key fk underscore customer number. Space, what we have to write? We have to write this foreign key keyword. This is a keyword. Foreign key. Foreign key. Key. After that, on which column we are going to apply that foreign key? This column, customer number, that we have to write here in bracket. After foreign key, give bracket and write the column name which we have written here. After this bracket, give space. We have to write a references keyword. Keyword. References. References. On which table we are giving reference, that table name we have to write here with the column name. So customer is the table name, and from that customer name, which column is there? Customer number. So this customer column from this customer table, and here we are using this customer number of this table. So both we are going to refer here. So we are going to create the foreign key for these two columns, customer number from this table and customer number of your customer table. So write that table name after references customer in bracket. Which column? First underscore number. So here we have created foreign key for customer number. Same way you are going to create the foreign key for this item number. Everything will be same. Only your name of foreign key is changed, plus your field name is going to be changed. So constraint fk, give here name related with that field. For example, item number, then foreign key. On which column? This column, item number, bracket complete. References, on which table we are giving reference? Item table. If this name is changed, you have to give that name only. If already this item table is available in the database and you are going to create new, so what name you have given, that name you can write here. So item, then after that field item number, bracket complete. And here is the end of attribute, so no need to give same colon here. Go to the next line, close it, close the opening bracket and give semicolon. Done.
Ma'am, how many foreign key can we assign in one table?
No limit is there. If you are referring more this particular table, this customer order table with many tables, then how many tables we are referring, that many foreign keys we can mention here.
And how many primary key?
Only one. For this particular table, only one primary key will be there.
Okay.
Execute this.
Yes, ma'am.
Table created.
Table grid.
Copy this part also. Same way you have to solve your lab book. So here we have seen implementation of create table. Then how to assign constraint on attribute. This is one constraint, not null. This is second constraint, primary key. Now here we have given third constraint, foreign key. So how we can assign constraint on table? That part also we have seen. Creation of table, how we can assign the constraint on the table. So this third table normally they will tell you in the question only create third table which will show the relationship between first two table. They will give relation like this: one to many, many to one, and many to many. In the question only they will write this one to. There is a one to many relationship between table. There is a many to one relationship between table. Which are the table? Main two tables: customer and item. These are main two tables. Third table, whether you have to create third table or show the relationship between these two only, that you will decide on the basis of these two. These on the basis of this value. If one to many means this particular customer, only one customer can buy many items. One customer is there, he can buy many items. If such case is there, we can write here one to many. One to many means in this table we are going to write first ID, first number. If in question you will get this, show one to many relationship, and in the question they have not given this part. Suppose this is the item table. In this question they will give only these columns only: item number, item name, unit, and price. But after writing all this question, at last they have mentioned there show one to many relationship. If this is the point, then we have to write explicitly, we have to write customer number inside this item table. So what will be your structure? This is your customer table showing the relationship one to many, many to one, many to many. So first we are checking for one to many. So this is your customer. So first number, then first name. In this way you have to show relationship. After that, what was the column? Number, name, city was the last, then address was there. So 4 column. You have to show structure like this. Delete this. This is your first table. Now create the second table here only. That is your item table. So what it will contain? Item number, item name, then unit, price. As per the question, these are the values of these are the attributes of this table, item table. But at last, if they have mentioned you have to show one to many relationship, then explicitly while creation of this table, you have to add cust number over here. So it means one customer can buy many items. That is one to many relationship. Clear?
Yes, ma'am.
I'm giving example for many to one on this table only. But if logically you will think this is not possible, you have to think about that type of example only for many to one. So here, if we are talking about many to one relationship, so many customer will be there. Many customer will be there who are going to buy single item. Where is the many part? There we have to add unique or one relationship, which is the table at the one relation here. That table ID we have to write in the many relationship table. So here, if this is a many to one relationship and customer is on customer are many and customer item is one. Many customer can buy single item at that time. This table unique ID you have to write into this customer table for the many to one relationship. So here you will write cust ID. This is not real example of many to one, means many customer cannot buy single item. You have to think in that. For example, uh, one student can take many subject, or here we can write subjects. Accordingly we will change this subject and student. So here we can say that many subjects can be taken by one student. Many subjects can be taken by one student, and that student ID we can show here. So such a type of example you will show here into many to one relationship. So this is second relationship. Now there is one relationship that is many to many. Many to many means here we are not going to show any one ID into any other table because M is there. If one is there, that ID we can show into the other table. Remember this. For this case, we are going to show only two tables which are given in the question. Only that table we will consider, and in this one of the table will contain ID of other table. For these two type of relationship, one to many and many to one. Now we are going to create many to many. If this case is there, then you have to create third table. Here you have to create third table. Maybe they will not give you fields of this table. They will show that many to many relationship will be there. In the question, they will say that many to many relationship will be there, and this table is going to additionally contain, for example, what we have written inside this third table. Nothing is extra over here. Sometimes they will give you date, on which date they have purchased this particular item. So they will write here many to many relationship is there, and add column date into that table. Add column date into that table. Such type of question they will give you. So if many to many relationship mention, means you have to assume that you have to create third table also. This is a assumption part. Many to many relationship, third table should be there. So now here you will create the table. First we will write the primary key for this table, customer or order. This is the primary key. Now many to many relationship means you have to write primary key of this table and this table also in the third table. So cust number and item number. So this is compulsory for many to many relationship. You have to write primary key of both table into third table. Now if such a question is there, if such a type of question is there, you have to show one more column into that third table, then you will write here that part. Otherwise this is sufficient. Otherwise only this part is sufficient for the third table. But in the question, if they have given any other column name, then that column name you will write here. So in this way you will show the many to many relationship. What primary key, which column you are using, on the basis of that you can say that it is a many to many relationship. How many tables are there? Only two, and all these two tables numbers are here mentioned in this third table. Primary keys are mentioned in this third table. So this is called as a many to many relationship. Remember this part, every time you have to work with these three: one to many relationship, many to one, and many to many. Only at this case you are going to create third table. At the many to many relationship case, you are going to create third table. Otherwise, no need to create third table. Clear this?
Yes, ma'am.
So remember this part. So create table statement is over here. So you work with this statement only. Tomorrow we will see remaining statement of this DDL command. Alter as well as a drop statement. So you work with this create statement. Check the lab book. In the lab book, there they have given assignments to you that you have to solve. So check that lab book questions and write the queries of create statement from that lab book. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Then we will stop here. Thank you all.